In this video, I'm going to be sharing results from 4 different guns, 2 ARs, and 2 bolt-action rifles that are my friends. Now here in Indiana, we are ramping up for the upcoming deer season, firearms deer season, and 350 Legend has been a hot commodity here again the past 2 years since it's been legal, since it got introduced. Now, still with that said, there is ammo shortage everywhere. You cannot find 350 Legend ammo. And if you're looking for a certain load, you know, you'll be lucky if you find it. And we actually, friends and I didn't bring any cameras to record it, but friends and I actually took some shots on paper this past weekend and got our guns ready for the upcoming deer season opening day. And I might get him on a phone call, one of my friends on a phone call that has the bolt action rifles that I actually shot. I actually shot all these, and I have results to show you here. Just some 3-shot groups that we took with different ammo. Because the reason I say that, different ammunition, is because my friend wanted to see if he can get his bolt actions, which are the Savage Axis 2 and the Ruger American Ranch 350 Legends, to shoot the same ammo, or see if there was a big difference in the 150 grain and the 180 grain, because that's what we can only find here locally in Indiana where I'm at. So I have results to show with that, and he asked me to come over and help him out and get the scopes re-leveled on their guns, because the Savage came with the factory scope on the gun, and my friend put a scope on his Ruger rifle, so they were pretty close. And then I went over there with my level and actually got it centered up with the plumb line and everything, like I showed you guys on All About Air Guns. If you're interested in that, let me know. But he wanted me to come over and get him set up and get it set straight. So what I did was, I already knew that my rifles, this AR build and the one previously that my other friend has, what bullet they shoot very well. You know, again, if you watch my past videos, I've already gotten a deer with this rifle. And I know a lot of comments have came along since then, since last year, about the magazines that I was using. And come to find out, they're all made by CMMG, I believe. This is a Duramag, and this one, I believe it's the 10 round. Off the top of my head, I can't remember now. But I have yet had any issues with it. I got the A2 stock back on it. A lot of people commented on that. You know what? It works, and here's why. Even with the A2 buffer, a lot of viewers said that, you know, the A2 buffer is meant for the rifle. That is correct. Rifle link gas system. But that is on a 5.56. You have to remember, this is a 35 caliber gun. A carbine rifle gas system on a 35 cal and a carbine rifle gas system on a 5.56 223, even though they claim to be about the same chamber pressure, there's a lot more volume of gases in here in a 35 cal barrel. So actually, with this A2 buffer and this A2 stock, it actually is more pleasant to shoot, you know, recoil wise in my eyes, and that's what I have found, and that's what I like. And I took it out this past weekend, and not one issue, guys. I mean, it is still spot on from last year's season. And again, you know, I dropped that buck if you haven't seen it already. With the 180 grain in my gun and the 150 in the other AR that I built, as you guys know, I put one together a couple years ago for around a $315 price point, which right now there is no way that can happen again with everything what's going on. So with that said, I'm going to show you the targets here of, this is my gun that I just showed you, and I was aiming dead center bull, 3 shots at 50 yards offhand. I'll take it. This is not accounting the first shot flyer, no magazine flyer, as I figured out. As you guys know, this was just straight loading the gun and shooting it to see where they hit. You know, because out in the field, you're not going to sit there and think about that. You see a deer, you're going to pull a trigger. Here's my buddy's AR, and as you can see, again, just a hair, this one was outside there, but right here, free-handed 50 yards, that's a dead deer. And that's the AR that I built a couple years ago that he has now with the 150 grain, as you guys know. 180, 150. Now, before I show you the targets from the bolt action guns, I want to see if I can get my buddy on the phone that has those guns. You guys remember Matt from the shotgun slug video with the rifle choke and a few other videos on the channel, and this is Matt. What's going on, cuz?
Yeah, man.
I was just telling everybody on the video here about how I came over and helped you out with the bolt action rifles and how you wanted to get them to shoot almost the same load if it was possible.
Yeah, we measured
the lands of the barrel and the length of the bullet.
Yeah, length of the bullet, lands of the barrel, and calculate everything out the best we could. Got everything matched up, and I mean, shooting perfect.
Yeah, for free-handed at 50 yards, that ain't bad. And both guns, the Savage Axis 2 and the Ruger American Ranch.
Chambered 350 Legend,
use
180 grain.
Yep, and then yeah, and I told them too that I helped you out with that level. Like, nobody really understands how it works, and I showed you how it works, and you're like, oh yeah, it finally clicked how not everything is in alignment.
Leveling your surface, taking the torque out of your rifle, and then zeroing or squaring up your scope.
And once I did that, you want me to shoot the 150s first just to try it out, just to show you how it was. I'm going to show them the group now while I'm talking to you. So the Savage group, first 3 shots out of the barrel, even though I was aiming dead center at 50 yards, the group was left and right, which shows destabilization or instability downrange.
Right, bullet's too short, throwing
too much spin.
The gun's throwing the bullet, off sideways.
And so was the Ruger American 150 grain. Even though it has a less thickness of a land, it's only a 5-groove barrel, which is a specialty barrel.
Right.
It's not a 6-groove like the Savage was.
Right.
And then I'm going to show them now while I'm talking to you on the phone about the Savage's 180 grain group, how it's up and down because that magazine, that bottom shot was because the magazine kicked the bullet up and it put a dent in the casing, which I'm not a big fan of that magazine for that Savage, but I'd rather have the up and down grouping and then the left and right, because that's just recoil.
Right.
Yeah, that just shows how straight that group is, and that's a 180 grain out of the Savage.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with the 180 grains, Ruger American, Savage Axis 2.
Yep. And then here's the 180 grain out of the Ruger American at 50 yards. We were just starting to shoot, letting the gun cool down and then shoot again just to see about the cold bore shot, and it was still dead on, as you guys can see.
We did alternate rifles with each round, 3 shots each round. Let the barrel cool down, because you ain't gonna be going out in the field shooting a deer with a already pre-worn barrel.
Yep.
Hey, James, my boss called me.
All right, I'll talk to you later. Thanks.
All right, yep, bye.
So guys, you heard it firsthand there. We got our guns set. Again, there is really, there's no shooting in this video, obviously, but I showed you the groups. I called my buddy just to tell you, what we showed you here, and that our guns are ready and set. So hopefully, fingers crossed, again, like last year, we're going to be down in some deer and they're spot on. We sighted them in free-handed, like we're going to be shooting. We're not going to be carrying a rest out with us in the woods, anything like that. So I just wanted to share an update with you guys on my 350s, my 350 Legend builds, 2 ARs that I've done in the past. And then I've never shot the bolt action 350s until my buddy acquired his this past year. So definitely we're good to go. And guys, I hope you look forward to videos on the channel about hunting, deer hunting. And a lot of you know that I've got the 50 cal AEA bullpup. But the thing is, I am not going to be carrying that around in the southern part of Indiana, up in the hills and hollers and all that. That is too much of a gun and too heavy of a gun to be doing that compared to this, where it's so compact and a lot lighter. I mean, it's a fraction of the weight of that AEA gun. So anyways, guys, I appreciate you watching, and I hope you got something from this video. And again, like my friend said, I can check the lands and rifling of the barrels, which tells me exactly which loads are going to work better without even shooting them, because he wanted me to do that. He wanted me to measure the barrels And then he said, let's go ahead and try the 150s and then try the 180s. And we did, and the 180s matched the barrel 100%. You know, like I told him, so I took a bullet like I did in my past video and stuck it down in the muzzle here and put markings on it and measured it. And that told me right there, those markings, and I measured them between the lands and the grooves comparison of how much bullet length I need to be able to shoot accurately without destabilizing or, you know, a twist rate issue or a twist issue of it being overspun. So anyways, guys, I appreciate you watching. I hope you got something from this video. See you on the next one.